Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast. Today, we're talking about Dinosaurs on Ice, Sony Buys Bungie, the alternate realities of the Multiverse, and we say hello to a new trailer for the Paramount Plus debut series. All this and everything else that happened this week in Geek.
Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Hey, it's Nate, and if you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geekcentric, a podcast celebrating the world of movies, TV shows, toys, collectibles, gaming, and all things Geekcentric. Joining me on the show for this week, we've got the Jurassic Classic with his plastic ass thick. He's J-Law.
That's great. Are you referring to my glasses? Were you feeling?
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, 100%. That's what I meant. Your thick glasses. And next to him, he's the king of the hill, clicking heads and claiming beds. He's Kevin the Killionaire Hudson.
If Justin's here representing thick glasses, I'm here representing thick asses. How we doing, boys?
Oh, shoot. What did we call it wasn't Watch Club, Kevin. What did we call
Big
it?
Boys Club.
Big Boys Club. Better than Watch Club. I am doing well. We're, obviously having a cold, wintry winter all over Canada. I've been hearing snowstorms on snowstorms and rainstorms on snowstorms here. How's it been for you guys?
Freezing.
It's freezing, but then there's going to be the next 3 days on and off snow and rain mix, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, and Sarah and I are dog sitting for my parents right now, and so taking these guys out is just a nightmare.
I can imagine. Yeah, man, I was thinking of going to see Scream tomorrow, or, I don't know, going to see a movie in general, but now I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe just hold off.
Maybe hold off for a few more days.
Yeah, just for a few more days. Maybe I'll stream Scream, you know what I'm saying? But speaking of watching something like Scream, let's get to watch you. Kevin, why don't you kick us off for What You this week, bud?
All right, well, for any longtime listeners, they know that I've had a goal in mind for many, many a year, and that is to get my hands on and play what is easily my favorite shooter and one of my favorite games of all time, and I finally made it happen. I finally tracked down, through the magic of Xbox and backwards compatibility, copies of the original Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2, and I have been going hard on some galactic conquests.
There you go. Yeah, Phil Spencer heard you loud and clear, and he's like, you know what? I think we should make Kevin's day. He's having a rough time, a rough go of it, having to take care of all those dogs in the snow. I think maybe, man, so you're playing it on Xbox Game Pass through backwards compatibility? Or
Yeah. And I mean, let me tell you, I was so desperate for this, I was considering buying an old PlayStation 2 and a copy of the game just to do it. Spending $5 on Xbox was a lot easier and cost-friendly, so that turned out to be great.
Does it have online, can you play against other people online, or are you just playing against AI?
I'm not sure if it's just, through local networks that you can do online, so with friends and everything. I haven't even tried it. I've just been going with the one-player modes and whatnot.
There you go. Go. Living out your best Star Wars
life.
Yeah,
but running around, Dagobah and Endor and the Mos Eisley.
What's your favorite planet to visit?
I love the little details on Tatooine in Mos Eisley, going into the cantina and the music's playing and stuff like that. So that's probably one of my faves. That and Endor is also really fun with the Ewok tree forts. Exactly.
Hearing that all over the place. Cool. Justin, how about yourself? What's your bud?
Well, I got back into a show that wrapped in 2019 for the first season, and season 2 has been going on now, 4 episodes in. I haven't watched the 4th episode, but Euphoria. I'm sure you guys have heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
HBO's what we would call a teen drama. For season 1, I was enamored with the sort of style and substance, the blend of the two. And how it stayed very focused on Zendaya's character and how, her trauma and her grief and how she's kind of working through it. But the series is very much a exacerbated version of what high school would look like, right? Like there's obviously all these elements, sex, drugs, grief, friendship, social media. These are things that we're surrounded with on the regular. And I think this series really does layer all of that into the show to kind of, make comments about the correlation between addiction and, social media and drugs.
Yeah.
And, the director said it best. His name is Sam Levinson. And he said, like, the idea is to kind of create more awareness for adults around what people within that world kind of go through in this at this age, surrounded by all of this. I will say, though, with season 2, it's nice that they're kind of exploring some of these side characters, but it does feel like they've really pushed on the style over the substance, if that makes sense. So they are really going for a mood. It's a vibe. Like a lot of people say, like, there's no plot, it's just style, right? So
really,
I'm still hanging through, because like the first episode really did get me, because it does focus on a character that was a side character from the first season. But this thing is in your face, like it's intense. It's like explicit for the sake of being explicit.
Well, yeah, I mean it's pretty hardcore compared to any teen drama that's ever been out there. I mean, it makes the OC look like a CW show, and just those shows look like the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would say, yeah, it pushes the boundary so much. And I feel like if parents that had kids somehow were like watching this show, they would be freaked out about what their kids would be involved. Like this would create more paranoia than anything else with parents of kids that are of this age in high school.
Yeah, I remember, Justin, I remember we were on the phone, and I was like, I think I might start watching Euphoria season 1. You were like, oof, good luck. I was just like, oh, maybe I watch another episode of Peacemaker.
Here's my thing, though. I think I do think it's great. I wouldn't recommend it for you. For most of the reason why I enjoy it is because of the style. Like if anyone's familiar with how it's shot on film, right?
Yeah.
It has such a surreal trope to it that just feels so inherently filmic. It is very much like a film that I don't know if you guys know it, but Requiem for a Dream stars Jared Leto and Jennifer Connelly and Marlon Wayans, and it has a lot of those elements in it. So it's good. I'm still like weary of this second season, because I feel like it could potentially just lose the substance and just go for style.
But it's got MJ in it, so I'll probably still check it out. Maybe we'll see.
Just be prepared. It's one of those things you like Requiem, where you walk away and you just feel miserable.
Oh,
it's like soul crushing. That sort of.
That's why. Again, I don't know if it's necessarily something you'll enjoy, Nate. Just check it out.
You think I'm too sensitive? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I
hear you.
For the Nate jerker, for sure, right? So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been enjoying Righteous Gemstones a lot still. Most recent episode was fantastic. Probably best. All I will say, no spoilers, but best use of de-aging I've seen in a long time. So really, really cool stuff there. I checked out the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, Uncharted 3, which is not part of the collection. It only comes with 4 and the DLC. But I checked it out because it was a $16 upgrade to get it because I already had them on PS4. So you just pay the upgrade fee and then you've got them, and it looks freaking incredible. It's crazy to me that it's like these games are actually still like 3 or 4 or 5 years old at this point, and they still look absolutely incredible on the PlayStation 5. A game that does not look incredible, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Visually not the greatest, but I will say they've made huge strides on that game in terms of, like, Kevin, I know you've played a few Pokemon games in your day. Like, I find that this one is better in a lot of ways and then worse in a few, in the sense of, like, the fact that Breath of the Wild came out, 5 years ago and looks as good as it does, and this one just really doesn't. And then the other aspect to it too, it's a lot of dialogue. Like a lot of dialogue that, Kevin, you would not want to read. You won't care about the storyline, I promise you.
Well, and Pokemon games have never been known for their,
intriguing
well-written
dialogue.
Yeah. So I have heard that there's just an absolute ton that you can't even skip over, really.
No, and it's it's one of those things where it's like, I think they need to do a bit of a better job understanding who Pokemon fans are, and maybe giving you the option to say, hey, I'm new to this, or I've been doing this for 10 plus years now. I will say, though, they are doing some really good stuff to change the game by like making stuff a little bit faster that wasn't before. Like, you can catch Pokemon just by throwing Pokeballs at them without engaging them in battle. You run by them, you can chuck 3 Pokemon balls at some Pikachus or whatever, and then you can catch all 3 of them in 10 seconds. So it's really, really cool. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is the after party. I know I'm stretching this a little bit, but the after party on Apple TV Plus, you guys, Kevin, you did the beautiful job of bringing us Only Murders in the Building. Let me bring to you the after party. It's a murder mystery for fans of movies. So it's so dope. So phenomenal cast. You have Tiffany Haddish, who's like this detective, and she basically each episode is her interviewing a different member of this after party, which is like a high school reunion after party. And each episode, they recant their experience of witnessing or seeing stuff about the murder, but they do each episode in a different genre of film. And the coolest part about it is that it's not just it's not just the characters acting like they're in that film. It's shot like that. The music is set up like that. Like, it's all done to show the same stuff over and over again, but from these different perspectives. And the second episode is like an action Fast and the Furious style movie. And they literally have like the camera work where it's like cutting to like wide shots where it's slowly like moving around in a circle as these characters are talking about just the most mundane things. It's so well done. Sam Richardson, who we know from another excellent murder mystery, Werewolves Within, is in it. And then Dave Franco is just the most dislikable douchebag, and he does it so freaking good. So you guys have to check out the after party and let me know what you think.
Nice, will do. I've never even heard of that one, but it sounds very intriguing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, again, I think you guys will love it. Because, again, even for yourself, Justin, because, like, you were just talking about how movies are made and how you appreciate, like, different camera angles and things like that. I think you're going to dig this for sure.
For sure. There's just so much content right now. It's crazy to stay on top of it all, right? So it's like you find your pockets. That's why we do this Whatcha, right?
Yeah.
We each shared something. Nate shared like 4 things, but next week you're off Whatcha.
All right. Well, listen, that is enough of Whatcha. You guys took way too long. So let's get into the news.
It's all about the details.
All right, our first news story. This is a big one. This is a big news story. Broke earlier today as of recording this. Sony Interactive Entertainment today announced a deal to acquire Bungie for $3.6 billion in the latest string of big-ticket consolidation deals in the games industry. After the deal closes, Bungie will be an independent subsidiary of SIE, run by a board of directors consisting of current CEO and chairman Pete Parsons and the rest of the studio's current management team. Sony has said Bungie will remain a multi-platform studio with the option to self-publish and reach players wherever they choose to play. At present, the studio is working on maintaining Destiny 2 and expanding the Destiny franchise and working on new IP. Quote, "We've had a strong relationship with Bungie since the inception of the Destiny franchise, and I couldn't be more thrilled to officially welcome the studio to the PlayStation family," said SIE President and CEO Jim Ryan. Another quote for you here. "This is an important step in our strategy to expand the reach of PlayStation to a much wider audience. We understand how vital Bungie's community is to the studio and look forward to supporting them as they remain independent and continue to grow. Like Bungie, our community is core to PlayStation's DNA, and our shared passion for the gamer and building the best place to play will now evolve even further." Parsons said SIE supported this studio's dual goals of making generation-spanning entertainment while staying creatively independent. Last quote here. "Both Bungie and SIE believe that the game worlds are only the beginning of what our IP will become," Parsons said. "Our original universes have immense potential, and with SIE's support, we will propel Bungie into becoming a global multimedia entertainment company dedicated to delivering on our creative vision." So, guys, this comes hot off the heels of the earth-shattering news that Microsoft will be buying Activision for $68.7 billion. That's quite a bit more. But guys, what do you think of Sony now owning Bungie, and what do you think this move means for them and for gamers?
I mean, it seems to be the biggest trend in gaming is to sort of have these bigger companies going around and snatching up these small independent developers. And I think if that means bringing bigger budgets to these sort of smaller outfits, that's great. But I really hope it doesn't start homogenizing the identities of these development studios into just sort of one big corporate personality. And every game that comes from Sony will sort of all feel and look and act the same. I mean, they need to keep up their unique and individual personalities. That's where these great games come from.
Doesn't Bungie have some sort of affiliation with Halo?
So Bungie was the original creator of Halo.
Oh, okay.
Which debuted on the Xbox for its launch. But then Bungie actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they splintered off into 343, which was then owned by Activision. And then from that point on, 343 split from Activision, and now Microsoft owns Activision owns Activision and 343, and then Sony owns Bungie. So it's this crazy sort of mishmash of developers that have been passed around.
Zen diagram to fucking understand this thing.
For sure. It's like the family tree in Game of Thrones for developer purchases. But I will say, I mean, I think they're launching a Game Pass competitor, Sony is, right? Called Codename Spartacus. So you have to imagine this is only to bolster that value for gamers. But I wanted to call out Parsons' statement where he says, our original universes have immense potential, and with SIE's support, we will propel Bungie into becoming a global multimedia entertainment company dedicated to delivering on our creative vision. So I think he's talking about the IP that Bungie owns, specifically, most likely Destiny. And you know, we've got the Uncharted movie coming out in a few weeks. We've got the Sweet Tooth series on the way. I'm just wondering if this is another big get for movies and TV series. I mean, that was kind of, one of the main reasons I never really got into Destiny was I'd never found its narrative to be too engrossing or really at the forefront. But I think, from what I've heard from people who have played it, who have the books, who have the strategy guides, there is a ton of lore for it. So, I think maybe that could be part of what we're looking at here as well.
I think that's a safe bet. I also feel like it's funny because Halo was always what you described Destiny to be for me. Like I just was never interested in Halo because it didn't seem to have anything to it other than just, aliens and you're in a mech suit and you just run around. Like it just seemed mindless. Whereas like Destiny, the draw there was a lore and a like sort of personality, and you get to like build your character and kind of understand. It's vast. It's immensely vast. So it is funny though that this company created Halo and then went off and created Destiny, right? So
and now there
basically
was Sony.
birthing the exact same games for different platforms with their own sort of eccentric differences, right? So.
But you got to imagine, like, are these companies going to splinter these games off, these series off, and say, cool, Activision saying, Microsoft saying, okay, COD is ours now, no more COD for Sony, and then Sony saying, Destiny's ours, no more. I don't, from a money-making standpoint, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Obviously, I think they're going to want to keep a lot of the players in the player base that they have, and they will now that money just goes to them.
But could they sweeten it? Could they sweeten the game?
Well, this is
for the
Xbox
what I think. That
yes.
you would lose for the PlayStation.
No, I don't think they're going to give an unfair advantage in the terms of multiplayer because Destiny is so multiplayer focused, right? Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that they're probably going to look at is the idea of, okay, you've got your mainline games. Yes, those we'll always keep. But then we're going to have sort of these side experiences. And the only way to get those side experiences is with Codename Spartacus or, is with Game Pass. And you have to maybe pick a camp to get the full experience of what you love instead of just a part of it. I think that might be the only way that they could go through this and justify, at least for Microsoft, spending $68.7 billion, whereas Bungie seems like a little bit more of a easier get.
Well, I do think that from the sounds of it, they're trying to expand the revenue generating areas of these properties. And so I just wonder if the focus doesn't shift from taking these games and turning them into television and movie properties with the intention of making them franchises in that regard. And like, if we get a really serious push from these studios, we might be entering the golden age of video game adaptations. You know, we have really high hopes for Uncharted. Who knows what Halo's going to be like, but it's such a popular sort of base to go from. So I just wonder if maybe the push to make some decent, legitimate, well thought out projects, that's an exciting prospect for gamers, I think.
Well, and you're both forgetting HBO's The Last of Us, but anyways, I do think that yes, it'll be really interesting to sort of see where they go with this. I am excited. I do think Bungie is an extremely talented developer, and I know my PlayStation to be the game that you play those event games on. Right. And so if they can give us that, if they can bring us back to what I consider peak Bungie storytelling, I'll be really, really stoked for that. And maybe we'll get The Rock to play in a Destiny movie or something. He was saying he's going to play in a video game movie. He was tweeting all about it. But he was also tweeting about the fact that he really does not want to be in the Fast and the Furious franchise. Let's go to the second story here. Jason Momoa joins cast of Fast and Furious 10 in a mysterious role. This in a write-up from Christian Zilko from IndieWire that writes, Dwayne Johnson recently said there was no chance he'd ever return to the Fast and Furious series, but Vin Diesel and company wasted no time in finding some star power to replace him. The franchise announced on Twitter that Aquaman star Jason Momoa is set to join the cast of the upcoming 10th film. While his character is yet to be confirmed, rumors have swirled that Momoa is playing a new villain. In the tweet itself, it says, the Fast fam keeps getting bigger. Welcome, Jason Momoa. So that was tweeted out by the Fast Saga Twitter account. Justin, I know you're a huge fan of the Fast franchise. What do you think of seeing Aquaman himself joining the 10th film?
Well, again, it's like you said, they've amassed so many different actors. This is a series that has Helen Mirren in it. That's a series that has Charlize Theron in it. It's Jason Statham, right? There's so many existing stars that have contributed. So Jason Momoa is just another one of those eye candy caps to just add on top of this. So I forgot Cena. They had Cena in the last one, right? So we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, like, wasn't The Rock? Because again, I don't really watch these movies. Wasn't The Rock someone's brother or something? And so then the rumor is that Jason Momoa is just going to be the other brother.
Well, I know that like Roman Reigns was in one of them as his cousin.
Okay,
was that in Hobbs and Shaw? Maybe, right? And so they sort of brought the family in that way. I will just say, I think it's disappointing that The Rock couldn't finish this out, because I think they leave his character. It's not like the character of Hobbs got sort of a proper write-off or whatnot, and he did so much to reinvigorate, for better or worse, life into this franchise when he joined for number 5.
Yeah.
So the fact that, I mean, I know him and Vin have had, quite the little feud, both behind and in front of the scenes. And so I just wonder, why he couldn't come back and do one more, even just for the sake of having that character get sort of a nice send-off and closing out that chapter.
If there's one thing I know about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is that he does love his fans, and he loves the people that love the Fast and the Furious. But I think there's better ways to try and get someone like that back than how Vin Diesel tried to publicly in front of Twitter. It's like, that's like going to like someone's wedding and proposing at their wedding. Like, don't do that. That's just gross. And so it felt like he was kind of just saying, look, fans, look, he's not joining. So it's on him now. But I think, you take one extremely charismatic Samoan and bring in another extremely charismatic Samoan. And I think it really makes good sense. I do hope they imbue Jason's love of bikes and bike culture into the movie. Like, I think that would be really cool. Can you guys correct me? Have they had like a biker in the franchise before?
I don't know if they've ever really gone down that route.
Well, I could see. I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that. I think that's a good call out, Nate. That they could bring in some of his personal experience with bikes, and I think that might be something that seems very conducive to sort of what Vin tries to do with these things, where it's like, where he's a producer, right, on these movies as well. Right. So he's working with them and developing their character. Going back to what Kevin was saying about the Rock, I think his character left the Fast and the Furious story. He's still doing his cop business. He's still doing his thing. I don't think he needs to come back. He was involved, and plus they had all this intention to do this Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, and if the way that ends definitely leaves room for potentially more of his character to be explored there. But that being said, like I agree with you, Nate. Like I think Vin was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay on Twitter and invite him out, and he'll have to agree because it's social media. If he doesn't, it'll create a riff. And he was like, no, my candy ass ain't coming back to that thing, bro.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm sure if he is riding on a bike, it's, from the little that I know of this movie, of this franchise, I'm sure it's going to be like a bike skateboard hybrid that turns into a mech suit at some point. And then, they went to space in the last movie, so I'm sure they're going to go beyond space. Speaking of outer space, though, Tom Cruise outer space movie story and filming details revealed. This story brought to us by Brennan Klein from Screen Rant. More details have arrived from Universal's impending outer space movie with Tom Cruise. I hope that's just like the working title. Like on the chairs, it just says outer space movie with Tom Cruise. Over the course of the last few years, Tom Cruise's journey into space has been a captivating drama. In May 2020, just a few months into the global pandemic, it was announced that the actor would be shooting a movie in space. And now, per Variety, a few details about the upcoming project that will reteam Tom Cruise with Edge of Tomorrow director Doug Liman and Mission Impossible 7 director Christopher McQuarrie have been revealed. The filmmakers are currently making progress on the script for the film, which will feature Cruise as an everyman who discovers he's alone and has the ability to save the planet from an unspecified threat. Original. That's me saying that, not in the article. The film will likely be shot after McQuarrie and Cruise complete production on Mission Impossible 8 and will shoot some scenes on the International Space Station. Though it was rumored that the entire film would be shot in space, most of the other scenes will be filmed on Earth. So, guys, I don't think they're ever going to finish filming the Mission Impossible movies. It seems like they're taking forever on their own,
gives them more time,
going up into space. But, guys, like, this sounds like pretty much the traditional Tom Cruise saves the world storyline. Do you think McQuarrie and Lehman penning the script, do you think it's actually going to be a good movie, or do you think they're just relying on the fact that it's filmed in space to be what is going to draw audiences in? I mean, Tom Cruise is going to draw audiences in, but you know what I mean.
It's hard to say. Like the big stunt here is that, Tom Cruise is going to be behind producing this. He has two filmmakers working on this project that he has worked with in the past, and he has very strong working relationships with. And I think that, to the point of what you're saying right now, it sounds very loose and very simple. Hopefully, as they figure it out and they have the time, they're going to evolve it, right? And hopefully move it to a place where it actually can be compelling.
I don't know, because between the movies between McQuarrie and Lehman, and again, we haven't seen the Mission Impossible or that new Top Gun movie, so I can't really speak to those. But based off the movies that they've written in the past, I just don't know if I can get beyond the spectacle. Like, obviously, I'm going to watch it because I want to see one of the first movies ever shot in space. Even though apparently a group of Russian filmmakers beat them to the punch on that. I'm just wondering, though, is it going to have the same fervor behind something like James Cameron Avatar? Like, is everyone going to go see it because, like, oh, it's something new, but like the story's not really going to be original?
But what do you want? I mean, it's an action movie set in space. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time they did a movie in space with a bit more, subtext to the plot, you were bored to death when you watched Ad Astra. So don't you want just a big, dumb, loud movie set in space rather than something that'll put you to sleep halfway through?
I agree. I think the spectacle is the selling point here. And I think they can have a little bit more fun and, I guess, liberty, if you will, to kind of
Yeah.
do the sort of space story that they want while leveraging space in the story, like actually shooting in space. Yeah, this whole thing is just a spectacle grab, right?
Yeah. Feels like it.
It feels like a James Cameron's Avatar, right? 100%.
Yeah. Right? And it's like, oh, let's go see the space movie because it was in space. And then
Let's go see the Avatar movie because it's like Fern Gully. Oh, God.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of grabbing audiences, I don't know how that works out. James Gunn eyeing second Suicide Squad spin-off series for HBO Max and says Peacemaker has a really good chance for season 2. This is an exclusive from Anthony D'Alessandro and Dominic Patton at Deadline, who write, there's another Suicide spin-off series in the works. James Gunn recently told Deadline on the upcoming episode of Deadline's Hero Nation podcast. According to sources, Gunn has approached HBO Max with the idea for another series built around one of the characters in the Suicide Squad. We hear the project is in the embryonic stages with nothing written or greenlit, but HBO Max is said to be high on it based on Gunn's enthusiasm for the idea. When prodded as to whether the next Suicide Squad series on HBO Max would involve Doctor Who alum and Suicide Squad star Peter Capaldi, who played the Tinkerer in the recent movie, Gunn laughed, saying, I can't say anything. It is connected to this universe, and I don't think it will be the same genre as Peacemaker. It won't be as much a comedy as Peacemaker, but will be in the same universe. In regards to season 2 of the Cena HBO Max series, Gunn said, the show is doing extraordinarily well, and we're excited. We all like doing it. We just need to cross some T's and dot some I's, which is basically me. So, guys, it sounds like a second season of Peacemaker is happening. I think we all sort of saw that, and it made sense. Well, I think the biggest news, though, is the idea of yet another spin-off series. And we know it's likely that, we're not going to get probably Idris Elba or Margot Robbie based on scheduling and that sort of thing. So who do you lovely hosts of the Geekcentric podcast think we could see returning for a spin-off series?
Well, the note about it being very different, that's the conundrum for me, because they kind of all live in that world that seems to kind of have branched off from the Suicide Squad and in Peacemaker. I do see, obviously they're hitting the comedy a little bit more, but I don't think that it was alternately that different from the Suicide Squad.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I was thinking Ratcatcher. Like Ratcatcher 2 would be an interesting story to explore, or Polka Dot Man I thought would be also really interesting, because I'm just trying to think of like the characters that at least left you with some sort of like compelling interest.
Well, and also you have to remember, unless it's a prequel, there aren't many of these characters left alive by the end
That's
of
the other
movie.
thing. It could be someone. It could be one of the characters that wasn't explored enough and died on that beach. Spoiler alert! At the beginning of the movie.
I mean, I'm still not totally against the thought that it could be a show with Idris Elba. Why not?
Yeah,
he's done
feel
TV
like
before.
Yeah, I just feel like he's gonna have too much going on with being Idris Elba. I don't know.
I don't know. I could see these characters showing up though, because they love James Gunn and they want to be a part of it. And of course, HBO Max is gonna want to do this. This has been the most successful straight to streaming series for them, right? So they're gonna do a season 2, and they're probably interested in picking his brain to see what else he has in store. Peacemaker is great, and I feel like I'd love for him to sort of help them flush out the rest of what this universe of the DC side looks like. Like, well, it doesn't need to be their definitive, right? Because they're going to do. We know that Flash comes out this year, where it's going to say everything can exist harmoniously and just be different viewpoints. There you go. And so now they can do that. That's how they're going to be able to do, this new Batman movie. They're able to just kind of time warp everything.
Well, originally I thought it was going to be Nathan Fillion, TDK, the detachable kid. But when they said that it wouldn't, when he's like it's not a comedy or it would be a different genre, which I think Peacemaker is touted mostly as a comedy. I just don't see how you could have Nathan Fillion as a man who literally uses his detached arms to fight people. I don't know how I could take that as seriously. I'm honestly, I was thinking it would be really dope to see Flula Borg's acting chops as a serious take on Javelin Man, because I feel like we didn't really get to see like his death. I don't think we did, or at least it felt like it wasn't really fully serious. Again, they could find ways to bring back any of these characters, but I don't know. I think yeah, if it's a prequel series, maybe we have more opportunities there.
I think that's
and maybe
the best
you get
bet.
Jai Courtney or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe, but I think Kevin's right. I think a prequel makes the most sense, right? We've already done this.
I wasn't supporting that in any way. I was just saying that's the only way you could have half of these characters.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I guess that
that would really that would have me lose interest very quickly if it was a prequel about one of the characters that dies.
Yeah. I think Flula Borg has some serious acting chops that we haven't really gotten to experience as much of, and I think would be really, really cool to see. I mean, maybe a lot of these characters just come through alternate realities through a multiverse. Speaking of alternate realities through a multiverse, our final story here, Doctor Strange 2 synopsis confirms alternate realities. This comes from Connor Schwarzenegger at Deadline, who writes, a newly released synopsis for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness confirms that the film will feature alternate realities. With only a few months until Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness debuts, wow, that's awesome. I hope. Some new plot details about the film have officially been confirmed. In fact, Disney has released a new synopsis for the movie, which confirms a journey through numerous alternate realities. The newly released synopsis reads as follows. In Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the MCU unlocks the multiverse and pushes its boundaries further than ever before. Journey into the unknown with Doctor Strange, who, with the help of mystical allies, both old and new, traverses the mind-bending and dangerous alternate realities of the multiverse to confront a mysterious new adversary.
These guys...
It's strange. Dude, in the synopsis, it's actually underlined. The old and new is underlined. No, it's not underlined.
This is so crafty. This is
right?
awesome, because what they've effectively done is seed planted in Spider-Man No Way Home, giving a lot of what I think we will see here with this sort of returning. I think some of the rumors that we've been hearing about, old Fox characters coming back and making appearances to show up, I think that could happen. That could totally happen.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the question that I wanted to put out to you guys. I mean, I think we all enjoyed What If, and I think this synopsis shows why the showrunners were so adamant that it was integral to the MCU. Does this change your sort of expectations for the Multiverse of Madness? And yeah, who do you think those mystical allies are? Like, I mean, we know America Chavez is in the movie. We know Baron Mordo is in the movie, in terms of like Baron Mordo being an old ally and America Chavez being a new one. And we've got Wanda Maximoff. I think with Wanda's involvement, it could be very possible we see like an Agatha Harkness in this movie. Maybe we get an older casted Wiccan from an alternate universe. Right? It could be very, very possible. What do you guys think? Any crazy theories? Is Mephisto showing up finally?
I mean, I know I've heard rumblings that we're going to get various versions of Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch sort of needing to team up together. And so there's your old and new, right? Maybe one, like we get older, more experienced, more grizzled versions of these characters that come in to give advice and lend some help. I don't know.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, get all timey.
Honestly, Spider-Man No Way Home definitely changed my expectations for what to anticipate for, Doctor Strange, given that they're having freedom. And I think it's, sort of fun, because now they can kind of address other things that have happened in the Marvel universe that are still, affecting it, right? So they did it with Spider-Man. I don't think it would be too crazy. Like, there's a really fun rumor going around that, Chris Evans shows up through a portal, and you think he's Cap, but then he says "Flame on," and he's Johnny Storm, right? And do you know what I mean? Like, that's a fun one. That would be crazy. It sucks if that happens and it's spoiled, but at the same time, validating and just seeing like how characters like Hugh Jackman could low-key just do a cameo. I don't think he would not do that. He would not distinguish, but make an appearance of some kind, right?
And I was just going to say, like, the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer debuted as the stinger for No Way Home. And in that we get the Marvel logo that you see cracks, and then we see variants of the logo itself showing the Sony version of the logo, the Fox version of the logo. Yeah. So if that's not sort of confirmation in itself that we are going to get at least a nod to, if not the full characters, but at least a nod to or an understanding of those characters coming into this universe. Guys, do we get X-Men? Do we get Patrick Stewart, James McAvoy, Charles Xavier showing up in the multiverse?
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope at least for Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman, if it's not to the level of how Toby and Andrew were involved in Spider-Man, if it's not to that level, I'm totally fine. But an appearance and a nod, an acknowledgement to your point, but then maybe a McAvoy is the version of Xavier that might find his way over to the MCU and stay there. Like, who knows, right?
And Kevin, I like what you kind of said there in terms of old and new.
Yeah.
Like some older and then some younger versions of maybe even the same characters. I think that's pretty dope.
I do think they have really put themselves in a tough spot with what they did in No Way Home. I mean,
they got a one-up.
It'll be impossible to top that, I think, just because of the fact that people liked those characters regardless of, whereas, the X-Men franchise has sort of dwindled off. No one ever really liked the Fantastic Four movies, but seeing those characters would still be really, really awesome. I just think, they're really going to have to pull out all the stops to even come close to matching that kind of level of hype. I do think it's kind of exciting that after a whole year of, prequels and origin stories, we're kind of getting two huge Marvel events back to back here. And it feels like we just had No Way Home, and now we're already going to get this next huge installment in the Marvel universe. So that's pretty awesome.
I'm telling you, man, they could do it. You're right. They've put themselves in a precarious place by putting a lot of stuff. But also, like, it's crazy that if these things haven't happened, that they haven't leaked. Like, I'm telling you, the way things leaked for Spider-Man, someone had it out for Sony. It is crazy. It was crazy.
But this is a Marvel project, right? So maybe they're able
strategy.
to keep it tight, keep it a little tighter, right? So very cool stuff. It's definitely, I think that's my most anticipated movie. I forget whatever I said in the previous podcast we did. I think maybe it was that. I don't remember. Anyways, I am now so amped about that. But you know what else I'm amped about, guys? I'm so amped to watch new trailers. So why don't we get to trailer time?
It's trailer time.
Before we even dive into trailer time, I need to explain something that I put into our Slack that I thought was the new trailer for Jurassic Park Dominion. I thought, oh wow, there's a new trailer out for this movie. I forgot that there was a first one, and I was like, great, I can't wait to watch it. And so we get this this footage of this guy, and it's like a winter scene, and I'm like, whoa, they are really changing it up for Jurassic World. Like, they're going like extinction. Okay, let's go. And then we see this guy who's wearing like his best Nike, skating outfit, and he skates out onto the ice and starts doing spins as these dinosaurs start running towards him. And I realized that it was a cross-promotion commercial between Jurassic World Dominion and the Olympics. So yeah, like I was so like, I felt so ashamed that I thought it was a real trailer at first. So guys, I wanted to bring this up because it is so ridiculous. If you get a chance to look it up, just look up Jurassic World Dominion Olympic commercials.
I'll put it in the notes.
Yeah. Oh, throw it in the show notes. But I did want to just kind of mention, like, what cross promotions have you guys seen? What is either your favorite or most ridiculous sort of cross promotion that you've ever witnessed between like a big brand and a new movie?
Well, first, you forgot the rest of that story with the fact that you discovered this one commercial, but then there was a set of
there's
three.
A series.
Yeah, there's a series. So I actually watched the rest of them, and they're not any better. But
no.
It's a really weird cross promotion. This is a weird cross promotion. Actually, speaking of Spider-Man, No Way Home, they did a cross promotion with Tom Holland for an electric car. I can't remember the car's name.
Really?
Yeah, and they had Ned in it, and it was a little hokey, but it had like the Spider-Man quirkiness to it.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it felt very much like something that worked in the universe. So that's fairly new. You could probably find that relatively easily on YouTube. And then there was another one from Direct Line, a UK insurance company, and they did a commercial with Donatello, the Ninja Turtle, and it's animated in 3D, and it's so good. And it sparked so much conversation after about like, let this studio do a new animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Like, pay them, because it looked like the 90s style, but like really nice dark shadows. Like it was really, really good. Like, it's
For an
dope.
insurance commercial.
Yeah, for an insurance commercial.
That's awesome.
Donnie's going to save someone. It was really hokey, but man, that animation, if you see that, check it out. You'll
That's so
definitely
funny. Kevin, how about yourself?
Nobody, and I mean nobody, does cross promotion better than or crazier than the world of professional wrestling. Obviously, pay-per-views when I was growing up were always sponsored by this company or another. It was often Chef Boyardee or Castrol GX7.
As kids, you want some Gastrol, right?
Right? But I mean, I don't think there's ever been a more iconic cross promotion than clearly Randy Savage and snapping into a Slim Jim, brother.
Oh, yeah.
But there have been just some really bizarre choices along the way, too. Even just a few years ago, WWE and KFC were working together, and one of the wrestlers, Dolph Ziggler, actually dressed up and wrestled as Colonel Sanders.
That's awesome.
You had Phil Collins wrestle Ultimate Warrior in a music video for one of Phil's songs. I remember back in the heyday of WCW, Chucky came out and was crap talking a few of the wrestlers to promote the newest Child's Play movie. There's been quite a few really bad ideas, like David Arquette becoming the actual WCW heavyweight champion of the world, as if that company's credibility wasn't already in the crapper. That kind of sealed the deal. But the all-time best crossover, just in time to promote, I believe, RoboCop 3. And sure enough, RoboCop himself came out on a pay-per-view to save Sting, who was trapped in a cage, and he ripped the door off. And,
Wow.
Yeah. But,
I got to see that one.
Yeah, there's some gems out there in terms of these clips if you want to dig a little deeper, because, nobody does it better than wrestling.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Shawn Michaels doing a Playgirl spread.
There you go. That happened.
That was a thing,
That
too.
was a thing. Yep.
Jeez.
Something for everyone.
I think it's funny because like I was like, they don't go as wild as they used to, but like this Jurassic World Dominion trailer was still pretty ridiculous. And then I mean the KFC Mother's Day promotion that they did. I guess that's not a film promotion, but I just wanted to mention the Chickendales again, because those that Colonel Sanders with a ripped body just stripping down was absolutely hilarious. KFC and Taco Bell have done amazing. And I mean, even when I was a kid, like, you know, the Taco Bell commercials with Star Wars characters and stuff like that. But I looked up a few and I found probably my favorite one, which is a cross promotion for General Electric and The Matrix. And it's Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, coming out and promoting some new energy efficiency program. And I was just like, I just, at one point, like, he's standing there and he offers a kid a red or blue lollipop for no reason at all.
Yeah, I
like,
remember
it's
this.
just the most cringy.
Yeah, it was. I remember this because it was so weird, because it makes Agent Smith, the villain, look like the nicest person in this commercial.
Yeah.
It is so
He's trying to sell
contradictory to who he was in the Matrix series. And he's so informative, he's so polite, but he's just dressed like Agent Smith.
It's so funny.
It's really, really weird. there's such a dichotomy between those two, right?
So good. And then the last one I want to shout out is Yoda and Vodafone, because it's just a couple in the UK, and Yoda sits down while they're eating their sushi, and he just like tries to tell him that he'll help him with his setting up his new phone. He's like, no, Vodafone already helped me with that at the store. I'm all good. Thank you, Yoda. And then you see Yoda just like taking his chopsticks and then like doing the thing where you brush all the like the excess wood off the chopstick, and I was just like, what? Like how? Because like, you know, Disney of today is so
it was
they're so much more
one,
precious.
Right? It was a CGI one,
but still, dude,
yeah,
like
I
it's
guess.
just insane to me that like the lengths that some of these companies would be okay with letting their IP do these things.
Oh yeah, that's
nuts.
true. That is true. That does kind of create that, right? The exact contradiction that we're talking about. So,
but listen, you know, obviously cross promotions are one thing, but when IPs can jump entire mediums, I think it's another. Let's talk about this next trailer here. Halo, new series on Paramount Plus. This is developed and written by Stephen Kane and Kyle Killen, starring Natasha McElhone, Yaren Ha, Jen Taylor, who is the voice of Cortana, Bokeem Woodbine, and Pablo Schreiber as the Master Chief himself. Pornstash is going to be your Master Chief from Orange is the New Black. Halo, I figured I should put a clarifier there. Halo is set to follow an epic 26th century conflict between humanity and an alien threat known as the Covenant. Halo will weave deeply drawn personal stories with action, adventure, and richly imagined vision of the future. So, guys, this comes out March 24th, 2022. What did you guys think of our first big trailer for Halo, Justin?
Well, I was saying it before. I had no interest in Halo, and I still have no interest in Halo.
No!
I still have no interest in Halo. The only interest that I have is the actor Bokeem Woodbine. I'm very interested to see how Bokeem Woodbine plays out in this series. He's probably the only character I would want to see.
He's incredible in Fargo.
Yeah,
like that's where I know him from mostly, and he's so freaking good at what he does in that show. And I just hope that they kind of keep his character to be a little bit more of that super serious sort of kind of almost scary at times sort of character. Him working alongside Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief, I think would be really cool. I don't know, Kevin, is this getting you on the Halo train, or are you off? You've never been on?
Yeah, I've never been on. Halo's just never really been my cup of tea, and this does not look like the highest quality of
Right?
television programs.
A lot of people on the internet
I thought it looked a bit cheap, so that sort of was a bit deflating for me.
it reminds me of Starship Troopers. In all honesty,
Okay. Yeah.
The 90s, there were giant bugs in that and all that, whatever, right? But in terms of like just some of the military depictions, it's
Sure.
It looks very.
I mean, even the costuming looks kind of like if they took all the sound out of the show, like you would just hear like plastic bouncing up and down and rubbing against each other. Like it doesn't look it doesn't look like it should. Like it looks that looks cheap. The effects look cheap. A lot of people online saying very sci-fi original series I'm seeing. And I think honestly the biggest miss for me with this trailer really wasn't even the visuals, it was the music. I mean, we've got freaking Phil Collins in the air tonight, and just like that's cool, but like you've got Martin O'Donnell, who made one of the best video game music themes, the Halo theme. Right? Kevin knows most of it, as he just showed right there, and they don't use it. Like it's just ridiculous to me. And maybe we'll get a little bit more. I don't know if he's actually got music that's going to be in the series itself, but
well,
at this
that's
point,
a huge
why
miss,
not put
man.
your best foot forward, right?
Yeah, that's a huge miss if they don't. I honestly agree with you. I don't know if it was smart to try to put in I think this track's already been used recently as well, right? What was it used in though?
It was used in
a trailer.
What's the one? The guy that says Liam Neeson, the new Liam Neeson movie. What is that called again? Blacklight.
Oh, Blacklight. Yes, the trailer for Blacklight. Yeah, we saw
Great.
it for and we did. We were miffed by that. We were like, oh, well, whatever, right? I don't know. I feel like it's a missed opportunity if they can't get the original music, because as much as I don't know about Halo, the one thing I do know is that its music is next level, right?
banger,
Which
dude.
is why people enjoy the gaming experience. So,
And like they've worked with, Hoobastank before, was like kind of the furthest that they ever went out.
Loved
was with Hoobastank. But even then, like it felt like a good moment to have that song. Like, I don't know, when you've got a series that's supposed to draw you in and make this world believable, but then you give me Phil Collins in it just something that takes me out. It doesn't make it more epic for me. It doesn't add to the world. And at no point in time have I ever thought to put those two, that sound and that song with that world. It just seemed like such a misstep. And I'm just praying that the acting is going to be good. I don't know. The voice acting, I mean, we've got Jen Taylor, the voice of Cortana, who's actually playing Cortana. She looks a little strange in it, but I don't know. I'm intrigued at the very least. I'll watch it, but I have a feeling this is going to be a one and done season 1 situation, kind of like Cowboy Bebop.
And given how long people have waited for this, and have been clamoring at this, it just feels like, they took all this time and still didn't get it right. What a shame.
I know. And it's like Paramount Plus is like, hey, you know what? Even if it doesn't turn out well, guess what? You subscribe, so you're watching it.
well,
Then I would unsubscribe.
yeah, but you guys seen District 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like Neil Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp
Yeah, he
did all those shorts.
He did all those shorts, and that was the closest thing. And we actually,
Those are amazing. Why not do that?
Yeah, why not pull him in and maybe he's involved, but I'm not sure. I haven't explored.
So he was originally involved to work on a Halo project, and that got canned.
Wow.
Right? And so this is the furthest thing. And there has been Halo live action content before, but it has been very much like sci-fi level. Like even the visuals in this were 10 times better than in one of those series that came out that just was
Those were all
brutal.
like what, fan made? No,
one of them was put out by Microsoft specifically, like as like something you could watch on the internet. I can't even remember what it was called, but it just was so low budget to the point where like they even had to film it where you didn't really even get to see the Covenant. You didn't get to see the aliens because they couldn't get the visuals to look as good. Like, I don't know, man. Anyways, I could rant about how much I'm upset by this. I want it to be better.
Yeah, you're the fanboy for Halo, so I can only imagine. I feel your pain. So
yeah, because I will tell you, Justin, there is a great story in Halo. I promise you, there's a great story.
There's a great
if you play
story
those
in Destiny.
games. There's a really good story in Halo. Well, then, listen, maybe when I see the
We'll do a game off,
Dwayne,
right?
Dwayne the Ron Jockson. I can't even speak anymore. Listen, Justin, just murder me right now. Take me down to Murderville. This next trailer for Murderville, this is starring Will Arnett, Leland Bowden, Hanifa Woods, Philip Smithy, Irene Hayes, and Mary Hollis in Bowden, with guest stars Ken Jeong, Annie Murphy, Kumail Nanjiani, Marshawn Lynch, and Conan O'Brien. This is a series that is, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it's going to be a Brooklyn Nine-Nine sort of show.
right.
But it's not. It's so an eccentric detective, Terry Seattle, which is just amazing, the name, teams up with clueless celebrity guest stars who investigate a series of murders in an improvisational crime drama.
Yeah.
So the
This
celebrities
looks great.
have no idea like what's going on, and they don't have a script, and they just have to act along.
But that's probably why they've been brought on, is because they're improvisers. They can do this, right? So it's going to be really interesting because they're not in character per se. They might get in character, and they might have to. It's kind of like a game show. It's an interesting sort of game show, right? I'm digging it.
I'm interested.
yeah, it's like punked, but they know they're being punked.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I mean, and I
Good
will
analogy.
say, Nate, you're absolutely right. When the trailer started, I went, "Oh, just another one of these." And
Yeah.
Will Arnett's never been in a good show, so whatever. But then Ken Jeong's on the ground laughing at something he said, and I'm like, "Did they just show an outtake?"
Right.
Right? And then as they sort of explain the concept, I was like, "Okay, this is awesome. I am totally in for this." With just Will Arnett trying to get these guys to crack and smile and laugh as he, shocks them with whatever details of the case he comes up with next.
I mean, I love the idea of sort of getting Will Arnett doing the really sort of characterization that we've seen on, like, on something like Arrested Development or what have you, right?
Yeah,
and,
you
and,
bite
but then,
your tongue, Kevin Hudson.
I was gonna
never
say,
been
yeah.
on a good show. Arrested Development, man.
Okay, I meant where
probably
he was
one
the
of the
lead.
best.
He's
Okay,
had like
okay.
4 or
Okay.
5 failed
Okay.
shows since Arrested Development.
Fair. Just because you didn't like him in the Muppets musical or Halloween special, like don't
loved him
rag
in
on him
that.
that
It
much.
was
But no, I think it's gonna be really, really fun, and like I'm stoked that we're getting it so soon. I think it's February 3rd. It's like by the
This
time
week.
this episode's out.
Yeah.
2 days, yeah.
Right. Very cool. Sweet. Anything else you guys want to mention about Murderville?
I'm excited. I will be checking it out for sure. I'll definitely be watching the first episode to see what it's all about. But
Yeah, I hope
I'm
the
interested.
show's better than your segue to it.
yeah,
Oh, rude. Well, listen.
yeah.
that
You've been
is-
trying really hard all
Listen,
episode.
guys, come on. You give me, not enough time. Listen, that is it. We hope you enjoyed This Week in Geek. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you want to write into the show with your thoughts on this week's news or any of the content we cover here, well, our beautiful, thick-ass Justin is going to let you know how you can reach us.
You can reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com, or on Twitter at geekcentricyt, or on Instagram at wearegeekcentric. My ass is not thick. It's non-existent.
You have like it's like an inverse of the word thick. It's like it's like your pants come down and then like a breeze blows by, but then they go in instead of like any other way. Anyways, please keep in touch. We've got so much content coming this wonderful year, having wrapped up the first month of 2022. Of course, we have our Watch Club every single week for the Book of Boba Fett, which we're coming to the penultimate episode pretty soon, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's
I
next. It's like 2 days from now. Oh wait, no, it's
Right. It'll be
actually when
today,
this episode
technically.
drops,
Yeah.
it'll be today.
Definitely check that out. And of course, we're going to be doing a watch club for Moon Knight, which I am so excited for. And check out our most recent episode where we played Fake or Real Star Wars Names Edition, where Justin and Kevin go head-to-head trying to name Star Wars names. If you've ever heard Justin host an episode, you know he can't even say English names. So definitely check out that episode because we are Geekcentric, and you can be too, which means you can also check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Geekcentric. And if you want to tune into the my live streams, keep the conversation going, catch me doing some gaming, some giveaways, opening Pokemon cards, well, you can do that over at twitch.tv/NatePlaysGames and follow me on Instagram at NatePlaysGames. Justin, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. And as we say, love ya.
Lockdown's over. Get home safe, guys.
Peace.
And this episode was brought to you by the KFC Double Stack Sandwich.